Welcome to Spinster's Library! I'm Robin, and this is the actual spinster, Claudia.
Although, as people do like to point out in every second video, yes, I am married. That makes me technically not a spinster, and makes you technically soon to not be a spinster anymore.
It's not a bad sign. Anyway, look what I got for my birthday present from beloved Claudia. You might know that Claudia has a book haul bag similar to this, but with cats on it. So she's got me this one with sparkly bits on the spine that you might not be able to see in the light, but maybe kind of a little bit there.
Let me just plug the Etsy shop as well. I got this from Vampire Bunnies.
Nice one, Vampire Bunnies. This is a really nice bag. I love it.
I'll link the shop in the description box.
So next charity shop haul, this is going to be coming with me. Excellent.
Although the books that you've got today would not even fit in that.
So you probably realise that I've not been around. We've been very busy spinsters, or not spinsters, depending on how you want to look at it, arsey people. And we have not done a charity shop haul together
Since October?
So we're planning that for soon. But we have, as we book people, I'm a book person now.
You are.
We book people have got books.
They just accumulate. Like, I don't know where these came from.
So I did just a brief story behind this. I got a message. Claudia said, let's do a video, bring all the books you've got since October. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'll have that much actually.
Yeah.
I put them together and I was like, ooh, it's going to be a long video. So I should probably stop talking and let you...
Shall we just get into the books?
Yeah.
So again, this is not the books that we've got in January. This is the books that we've got over the past 3 months.
So hopefully Claudia will put the order of books in the description.
Yeah, they will be there with timestamps. I
Okay.
think you should start because you have like 1 million books.
I should start, and I'm going to start with someone who really inspired me in 2018, just as the year in total. I follow him on Instagram. So his name is Matt Haig. So he is a fantastic advocate for mental health issues. So for me, I personally have a few issues with like anxiety and things like that, and a lot of his books help tackle that and make you realise that it's not an issue. So anyway, the two that I've got, this one, Matt Haig, The Truth Pixie, it's a children's book, but it's about anxiety. So it, again, a lot of children get anxious nowadays, and they need platforms like this to realise that it's normal to be a bit different. It's normal to have these feelings, and it's okay, and they can be discussed, and it's just a way of sort of, yeah, putting it onto a hard bit of paper for children to read and enjoy. And the illustrations are really cool. Lots of Instagrammable pages. It's a really great book. And then the second one I've not read yet, but it's called How to Stop Time. So I'm pretty sure this is actually a novel. I really like his writing. I've read a couple of others of his, and so I was glad to add these to my collection of Matt Haig. Your turn.
My turn. I'm going to start with 3 books that came in the mail, and these are little presents from Andrea from Infinite Text, fellow booktuber, link down below.
Nice.
And she sent me, and I think it's just like really wonderful selection of books. The first one you'll recognise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's The Reader by Bernhard Schlink. So this is the original German version. I have no idea how she ended up with this, because she, as far as I know, doesn't speak German and lives in Canada. But I really appreciate this, because this is one that you've been telling me to read.
It's brilliant. Brilliant book.
Yeah, so I can't wait to get to this, in the original German.
Awesome.
Then she sent me 2 volumes of Rainer Maria Rilke, who is a famous German.
That sounds like an absolute
Poet?
mouthful.
So the first book is called The Book of Images, and it's a collection of his poems, which are 1-page German and then English.
Oh,
so
cool.
I guess it's for people who are learning German or who aren't first language German speakers.
That's
but
really
obviously,
cool though.
It is, yeah.
That's really
so
cool.
I will
like
be
that.
reading the German half of this, and I'm really excited about. And then the other one, this is really quite funny. This is Swedish.
Can you read?
I don't speak Swedish. So, Andrea, I know you're going to comment on this. I'm not sure if she thought this was German.
Maybe.
Or thought
Andrea.
that I speak Swedish. Yeah, so
Please
this
let us
was
know
fun.
in the comments, Andrea. We're really curious just to know what was going on.
I really appreciate the present though, because I've been saying that I want to read some Rilke poems, because I always have problems with poetry, but I do find German poetry easier to read than English poetry.
Thanks, Andrea.
Andrea.
You
From
probably
Infinite
get
Text.
Andrea all the time, I'm sorry. So my next couple were Kazuo Ishiguro, which I struggle to say every time, but that wasn't a bad attempt. I'm quite impressed with myself. So this one, When We Were Orphans, I'm trying to think where I got that
Charity
one from.
shop. I was
Charity
there.
shop.
Yeah.
You were there. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So we have done a charity shop haul. We've obviously just been crap on the upkeep. So, Kazuo Ishiguro, When We Were Orphans, one I've not read but looking forward to read. And then the second was The Buried Giant. I went on a really nice weekend retreat, just to an Airbnb cottage thing in the Peak District, and they had this bookshelf, and I was just like, I can't just take it. But then I read the guest book, and they said if there are any books you start reading or would like to read, we have no problems with you reading it. If you can leave one behind or not, doesn't matter. So it was very much just an open bookshelf.
That's really
And
sweet.
it was really sweet. And I only took this one because I really love his work, so I really wanted to have a go. So that's another one I'm looking forward to read. But I will say this now, disclaimer, we are planning to go back and I'm going to take some books with me to leave behind. So I don't feel
Yeah.
guilty.
Oh, I like that. And Kazuo Ishiguro is one author where I definitely want to read every book that he's written. So I have 3 books that I got from Bill, my husband, who we did an advent calendar where we alternated between giving each other presents. I still
Cool.
owe him 2. He's not going to watch this anyway. He doesn't watch my videos. So hopefully he's forgotten about that. But 3 of the presents that he got me were books.
Nice.
So let's start with this children's book in German. This is by Michael Ende, who also wrote The Neverending Story. And this was called Die Zauberschule und andere Geschichten. I think this is a collection of short stories.
Huh.
So I had a look through the contents page, and I think I recognized one of them, Das Traumfresserchen, which means the little dream eater.
Thank you.
Then he got me a novel by Ben Elton, which is called Dead Famous. You know Ben Elton, right? Sort of comedian, writer guy.
The title is ringing more bells than the
Really?
author.
Okay.
Bizarrely.
He's like him. He's on TV and stuff.
He looks like a
in
very
the
nice
90s.
man. I
He
don't
was
know.
on TV in the 90s. I didn't even know he wrote novels. So there you go.
Oh, it's a novel, okay.
And it sounds very off its time, because it says 1 house, 10 contestants, 30 cameras, 40 microphones, 1 murder and no evidence.
I want to read
So
that.
it's clearly very...
I want to read it.
Like, it's from 2001. It's, at the height of Big Brother. Theory, right? My theory is the rise of YouTube has killed off Big Brother. Because now you can just perv on people, all over the
In
internet.
their rooms, talking about books.
That's it. So it's very off its time. Looking forward to it. And then the other one is another German classic. I don't know where he found these German books. He said he got them all in charity shops. So every time I
Nice.
look for them, I can't find them. This is Frank Schätzing, Der Schwarm. The
Cool
Swarm in
cover.
English. And this is a thriller, I believe. I remember this with this cover from when I was in school. This was really big when I was about 15, I want to
Funny.
say. This was really big, but I wasn't very interested in adult fiction back then, so I never read it.
So, my next little category of books was books I received at Christmas. So, this one, I know it's not a novel or a book or anything, but it is pages, and it's cool. So, I play ukulele. It's 101 hits for ukulele. It is actually really fun. I've played some songs from it. And it was from...
At the end of this video, can we have you play one of them with my ukulele?
Yes. It's from my fiancé, and he gets very excited when I play ukulele. He really enjoys me playing. It's very sweet.
Can I pick the song?
Yes.
Okay.
Not now.
Okay.
Then, hilarious story. My fiancé and Claudia both went on Goodreads to find books for me to have for Christmas, and they both bought me copies of I Am Malala. Now, the best thing is,
I didn't pay
Claudia
attention.
didn't pay attention, and she got me the teen version. It was so sweet on Christmas Day opening 2 I Am Malala's. I was like, they both know me so
Aw.
well.
So you're already reading this now?
I've read the first couple of chapters. I'm not that far into it, but already really well read. written. Beautifully written, really interesting girl, very inspiring. So I'm really looking forward to finishing that. And then the next one...
This was not off your Goodreads.
Was not off my Goodreads, but I'm really actually looking forward to reading it. I Capture the Castle, and it is by Dodie Smith. I couldn't find it.
Anyone who's watched any of my videos in the last year will have heard me talk about this, because it was my favourite book, actually, of 2017.
Nice.
The only book that I gave 5 stars to in 2017.
Really?
Genuinely.
So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I read the blurb. It's really interesting, actually,
It's also a very sneaky way to get her to read a classic.
Yeah, I did notice that, and I was like, oh, fuck. And then, the last but not least one, The Power, also from Claudia. She's got great taste.
Yeah, so this was not one of my favourite books, but I really think you will enjoy it, because it is very fast-paced. It's very poetically written, and I think those are two things you enjoy about books. Good language and a fast pace, and it's got that kind of thriller atmosphere as well.
And my favourite thing about it is the little note that was left inside. Read this when you feel angry. Burn the whole world down. That's not happened yet, so I've not started reading it, but it could soon. Love getting books as presents. I can't think of a better present, really. They're just wonderful.
I only got one book for Christmas, and I forgot to put that on here, so I'm just gonna go and get that.
Throw me in the deep end, why don't you? Okay, so hi BookTube. So I read The Kite Runner over Christmas whilst I was back in the United Arab Emirates with my family. When we were in the airport on the way back, we looked at the bookshop, as you do. Of course, you go to the bookshop in the airport. And I found, I think it's the next one he wrote of Khaled Hosseini's, so 1,000 Splendid Suns. Now, what's lovely is that this is a book that actually Jimmy, my fiance, enjoys too. Welcome back. He enjoys these kinds of books as well, so it's actually finally something that we can talk about. He's not been reading much, but he did read The Kite Runner, and we're both going to read this. So bizarrely, I found this whilst I was at home, so this is just one that I found. It's called The Arab Uprisings, written by Jeremy Bowen, who was on the BBC News, I want to say.
The name rings a bell, Jeremy Bowen. Look, I'm face blind.
Oh shit, I don't
this
even
means
know why
nothing
I did that.
to me.
He's a journalist. Oh, here we go. Award-winning journalist Jeremy Bowen has been the BBC's Middle East editor since 2005.
Right. So I've probably seen him on the news.
Yeah, so there was a literacy event in Dubai. I can tell you because I got the ticket in Dubai, and it was Saturday the 8th of March 2014. I got it signed by him. I met him, got it signed. It's about the Arab Springs, that kind of thing. So I haven't read it yet. Because...
Hang on, so you've had this since 2014?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I haven't read it yet because, as a lot of you may know or may not know, I didn't read until this year. Well, last year now. It is a book that I am now very excited to read because it is no longer a book that is just signed and a keepsake. It's a book that I might actually enjoy reading. It's interesting. It's sort of the place where I was brought up. So I'm actually really excited for this now. At the time, I was just excited to meet someone famous and get their autograph.
Right.
Throw me in the deep end.
Mother-in-law. So again, this is not a Christmas present. This is just a book that she gave me last time I went to visit because she read it and enjoyed it. It's called The Keeper of Lost Things by Ruth Hogan.
I feel like I've heard of that.
I haven't.
And I think it's good.
Okay.
I think it's not ringing a... Oh, shit.
It's not ringing any bells for me, so I have nothing to say about this, except it looks nice, it looks bright and summery, so I'm probably going to wait till the weather turns a little bit warmer to read it.
This book is one that Jimmy, my fiance, I love saying that, fiance, one that he brought home. I'm pretty sure it's one that he's owned for a while and hasn't read. Ernest Hemingway's For Whom the Bell Tolls. I don't know much about it, but this year one of my little resolutions is to branch out from crime thrillers. So it doesn't seem to be a crime thriller, it might be, but it sounds like it's kind of a wartime novel, and I want to try out more of those. So don't know much, sounds pretty cool, looking forward to reading it.
I've never read any Hemingway, but I think he's one of those sort of hate or love him authors.
Yeah.
I actually found 2 books that I have been given for Christmas. One of them is by Rob. You remember Rob?
That is beautiful.
I know, right?
It's not by Rob, it's from Rob.
It's from Rob. Oh, come on.
Rob.
English prepositions. So this is called Doctor Who 12 Angels Sleeping, 12 Stories of the Villains from Doctor Who by Dave Rudden.
12 angels weeping, not sleeping.
It looks gorgeous. Yeah, I'm a big Doctor Who nerd, and Rob knows this. So if you're watching this, Rob, thank you very much. This is exactly my sort of thing, and I can't wait to read it.
Do you want to do your other
All
Christmas
right, let's
one?
do the other one. So this is from my sister-in-law, and it's called The Geeky Chef Cookbook.
Nice, that's so you.
It is, yeah. And it's recipes from video games or Harry Potter or like fantasy films. To be honest, most of these aren't shows or games or things that I follow, but all of the recipes look really, really good.
That's really cool. I like that. You've got some good Christmas presents.
Yeah,
So did
but
I.
I only got 2 books. You got way more books.
I know. So the next book, this is really cool, and I'm so grateful that my parents let me bring this home. So I'm pretty sure I read snippets of it when I was growing up, just because my mum knows one of them, or my dad knows one of them, or my parents know one of them. The book is called Tornado Down. It's written by both RAF flight lieutenants John Peters and John Nichol, but it's about one of the Gulf Wars, and they were shot down, and it's their story, basically.
Oh, interesting.
So they were shot down, and I'm pretty sure they were captured, and it's about their treatment, and it's not one for the faint-hearted, I don't think, but yeah, I think for me, because my parents know him, it's sort of...
It's like a personal thing.
Yeah, it feels a bit personal, so I'm looking forward to reading that properly, again, fully.
I got a copy of Holes by Louis Sasha.
Sasha, we
Sasha.
still not worked that out yet.
So I found this in a charity shop when I was out a while ago, and I just thought I haven't owned a copy of this since school.
Nice.
Got
Holes is a great book. Read it. It's easy. So my next book is a really cool present. We said we'd get back to it, so this is a little plug about my life. I'm getting married in 2020. I got engaged in November. And this is my present from Claudia. Classic German practical wedding planner. So it's brilliant. It's really good. It's American. However, as a Brit, I do find it really useful because you can kind of use it as a wedding encyclopedia. So when I've been talking to Jimmy about catering or venues or whatever, I've referred to that part of the book. So it's not one that you'd necessarily read from cover to cover, but it's really, really helpful. So if you're getting married, definitely worth it. And thank you, Claudia. It's an awesome present.
I have another charity shop find, and this is the Vesuvius Club by Marg Gatiss, and I think it is
Cool
pronounced Gatiss, not Gattis. He co-wrote Sherlock, for example.
Oh, okay.
He's also written and appeared in episodes of Doctor Who. He's a big screenwriter and actor, really.
Right.
And
And this is a novel.
this is a novel by him.
Nice.
Oh, that's him.
No.
So this is very typical for him. It's a Victorian novel, and it sounds like a sort of comedy, thriller, crime fiction type thing.
Okay.
Like, it sounds
That
like
sounds
sort
quite
of
cool.
if Oscar Wilde wrote crime fiction.
Nice.
Possibly. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a fun and easy sort of read, but I'm looking forward to it because I enjoy his writing on other shows.
Did you pick that out because of the name?
Yes,
So you saw the
entirely
name
because of the
yeah.
author, because I
Nice.
didn't realise that he wrote novels too.
So I went to Hay on Y, and I had a really nice time because it was full of bookshops, and I was like, whoa, this is really weird. This place has like loads of bookshops, and literally there's like hundreds of them everywhere. I don't understand why, because surely this is really bad for business.
As far as you were aware, this is just a random town in mid-Wales.
So I went to this place, was so amazed and just like dazzled by the fact that it was full of bookshops. Anyway, I sent Claudia a message saying, hey, I'm in this village, it's really cool, there's loads of bookshops. She said, yeah, everyone who reads knows about that place, you fool.
I wasn't quite that harsh.
It felt like
I said, oh, hey, on white, the bookshop town.
and I was like, how did you know? So really cool. Anyway, moving on. Anne Giardini.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anne Giardini. So this is called The Sad Truth About Happiness. I have no idea about it. The title appealed to me, and I was in a really cool bookshop, and this was the only book that I could afford, and that I thought sounded interesting. And because I was in this really cool bookshop town, I thought I'd buy it. But then I went to the next bookshop, and I found this book called How to Be Lost, Amanda Ward, and I really like that kind of thing about broken family novels, and I'm pretty sure that's what this is about. That's the most I got from the blurb anyway.
So my next group of books are books that I bought on the recommendations of viewers of Spinster's Library.
Cool.
Because I don't know if you saw the video, I did one where I asked for book recommendations.
Yep.
And people commented lots and lots and lots of different titles. So I wrote them down in a list, and I kind of in my journal, and I take that with me when I'm out in bookshops or in charity shops. So I have found a few of the items on that list.
Excellent.
One that was recommended over and over again was Sarah Waters' Fingersmith. So this is historical, I want to say historical crime
Okay.
or something. Well, one of the genres I asked about was crime fiction set in the past.
Yeah.
It was shortlisted for a bunch of prizes, and it's just a title that I've heard about a lot, and I found it in our local air ambulance shop, charity shop for 75p.
I love that shop. They have such cheap books.
It's amazing.
So good.
It's becoming one of my favourites in our town for
Yeah.
books. So then another one that was recommended is The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett.
That sounds like something I would not enjoy.
But this is a classic that I'm sure I've seen on loads and loads of bookshelves. I'm sure I've seen it. I think my parents might even have a copy of this. But I've never read it. I mean, it's big. But yeah, this was recommended to me in that video as well. And I did find it in a charity shop.
Awesome. I love it when that happens. I love it when you're looking for a specific book and you find it.
Yeah.
It's such a good
And
feeling.
another one. This is one that I never would have picked up. This sounds like it could be more your kind of thing.
Okay.
So one of the things I asked about is books featuring PhD students as characters.
Nice.
Just to make me feel like I'm less on my own. And this was one that was recommended for that.
Cool.
And this is, I believe, some sort of Da Vinci Code style thriller.
Right.
It's The Rule of Four by Ian Caldwell and Dustin Thomason. And the main character is about to graduate from Princeton. Definitely looking forward to reading this.
Yeah.
And then I went into Waterstones.
That's a dangerous business
I know.
going there, because you want every book and you can't afford every book.
Well, one book that I did get, and again, this was one that was recommended to me in that
Pretty
video,
clever.
is The Clan of the Cave Bear by Jean M. Owl, I
Okay.
guess. And this is another book set in prehistory. So I found this, I paid £9.99, and then literally the next day I found it for 75p in the air ambulance shop.
No! It happens.
Why do I bother with new books?
It happens.
But yeah, so these are the 4 books that I've so far bought. I actually bought one on Kindle as well. This is Medicus by Ruth Downey, which is another historical crime novel.
Yeah.
Oh, and this one I think is part of that as well. So a lot of people just straight up recommended Philippa Gregory. Just
Is it
books
fantasy?
by her. No, it's historical fiction.
Oh,
and
looks
apparently
very
it does, doesn't it?
fantastic.
It does. And I believe this one's a young adult historical fiction.
Oh, okay.
Changeling by Philippa Gregory.
The beauty of myself getting into reading again properly, did that make sense grammatically? I don't think it did. But anyway, is the fact that I have now encouraged Jimmy. I've mentioned him a lot, but it's because he's got books as well. So these are books that he's got, but that I want to read. So it's kind of mine.
2 of them I
his.
have read.
Nice. So this is the first one. I think you've read this one, haven't you?
This is one of my favourite books from 2018.
So Rennie Edo Lodge.
Mhm.
Why I'm no longer talking to white people about race, but I love the cover because it says why I'm no longer talking about race. It's just a really clever cover.
I never even noticed. I should mention I have the audiobook, so it's not like I've been looking at this while I was reading it.
It's cool though, right?
Yeah, it is very clever.
Really clever.
Okay.
So I actually don't know anything about this other than I knew you read it because I watched one of your videos and
Yeah.
said you did and enjoyed it. So that's another reason why I wanted to read it. But I just think the title's really captivating.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
And
makes
it's a
you
Sunday
look up.
Times bestseller. I don't think I just think it'll be a really interesting read. I
Yeah.
don't know anything about it otherwise.
It's just really good. It's also like I feel like this could be. Oh, is this
Jimmy's
Jimmy?
book,
Okay.
yeah.
I was. Jimmy, listen, mate. Don't do that.
I have given him bookmarks. It's just men.
Ugh.
And then the next one is I Am Pilgrim. So The Guardian recommended it on the front. The only thriller you need to read this year. Quite a hefty
By-
book. Oh, it's by
Terry Hayes.
Terry Hayes. not on the front cover because he's
Clearly,
not
it's
vain.
not that important.
It's very much had mixed reviews. It's a very thick, heavy book. And actually, Jimmy started reading this and said he couldn't get on with it. But I don't think that should be something that puts me off just because he can't enjoy it. I think I just need to go for it and see how I feel. It also says a father publicly beheaded in the blistering sun of Saudi Arabia. So again, I was brought up in the Middle East. I really like reading books around the area, not because this is true to what happens, but because I like being able to actually picture and visualise what's happening. H is for Hawk by Helen MacDonald. And again, this is one that Jimmy picked up at the airport. None of us have touched it yet, but it was the winner of the Samuel Johnson Prize for Non-Fiction as well. So again, non-fiction, not something I've touched on, so that's why I want to read that too. And finally, I bought Jimmy Freakonomics by Stephen D. Levitt and Stephen J. Dubner.
I've read this one,
so you probably want to tell them,
this
but I've not read it.
So it's almost like articles, like there's not much sort of, the different chapters talk about different topics, but it's using sort of, they call it behavioral economics. It's an interdisciplinary kind of research, like psychology, economics. I would also recommend, I don't know if Jimmy already listens to Freakonomics podcast.
No.
Recommend it to them because that is hosted by Stephen Levitt.
Oh, cool.
And Stephen Dubner is often a guest on it, and he interviews different people.
That's really
but certain things I think Jimmy would really love, and I think you would enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
I listen to every episode, and it's just one of my favourite podcasts.
Cool.
I actually listened to the podcast first for like 2 years or something before I read the book.
So Everybody Lies is one that Jimmy's really enjoying as well, so maybe when he's finished I can
It's well written, like that's what I enjoyed about it. Stephen Levitt, who I believe did most of the actual writing, is a really good and clever author. Right, I haven't got much left, so I found this in a charity shop, Dracula by Bram Stoker. It's a classic that I've not read yet, and one that I think I might enjoy.
That was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire last night, and I really want to watch it now.
Is this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Jeremy Clarkson?
Yeah.
The person who thought, you know what, we take this like established quiz format and put Jeremy Clarkson in the hosting chair was a genius. I've not watched it. I can't stand the man, but I can totally see it working.
It's just one that's a classic that everyone talks about.
It's a pretty ugly cover, but you know.
So our dear friend Ellie has sadly moved from the UK to America.
Where she's from.
So it's kind of acceptable, kind of, sort of, maybe.
She's not got over it yet.
I don't think I will. Can we not talk about it too much? She left some books, and now I honestly can't remember which ones are which. She wrote in some of them, not in others, so this is just guessing. Sorry, Ellie, but this is where I think they're from. So, A Poisoned Season by Tasha Alexander, and it's a New York Times best-selling author. I think it's like a scandal, maybe, about a scandal or something. I don't really know much more, but really, I like being recommended books, so I'm looking forward to reading that. This one, I can't remember if this is one of Ellie's or not, but it's The Untouchable by John Banville. The first line on the blurb is Victor Maskell has been betrayed, so immediately I'm quite excited to have a go at that. So again, don't know much more, but excited to read that. Hugh and Bess. So it says, Hugh and Bess, a defiant bride, a reluctant groom, and the unforeseen enemy threatening to destroy them all.
Is this historical?
Perhaps. Susan Higginbotham.
Susan what?
Higginbotham, but I said bottom instead.
Oh, so mature.
One Day by David Nichols.
Yep.
I have heard about this before.
I have read this.
I've not read it, but I've heard lots about it. It's one that keeps cropping up. I always see it in charity shops. I always see it about.
So I've read it. It is fun to read. Okay. It is very romantic, and it's genuinely one of the most forgettable books I've ever read.
Oh, really? So I do remember Ellie telling me that this was a very romantic book.
It is very romantic. So, it's a good romance. It's a well-written romance.
Yeah. So again, trying to branch out, romance can be one of those stems. And then Real Lives, Stories of Changed Lives by DJ Carswell. To me, it's, again, the Big Brother thing, being nosy into other people's lives. I'm a nosy person. I think I might enjoy that. The Girl with a Clock for a Heart is another one from Ellie. So, Peter Swanson is the author. Of this. I'm pretty sure I'd heard of it as well. And I think it's a murder mystery.
So yeah, looks like it, doesn't it?
Thriller, perhaps. So again, that's right down my alley. Ellie said that I'd enjoy that, so looking forward to reading this. The problem is there's so many books I want to read, I just have no idea which order I'm going to read them in. And finally, The Muse by Jessie Burton.
This looks like a
Looks
good
really
contemporary,
pretty.
doesn't it?
It's a
Yeah.
really pretty cover. This is the problem. There's just so many books and not enough time to read them.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure some of them might not have been from Ellie, but we can pretend that she was very generous in giving me lots of books.
Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you, Ellie, a lot. And we miss you, and come back home, please. This is home now.
Right, I've got a few more just charity shop finds really. I have The Longest Journey by Ian Forster. I'm just making my way through his books. I want to read his entire work and finish either this year or next year.
Why?
Because I love the 3 books of his that I've read so far.
Nice. You want to
Yeah.
keep building that up?
Yeah,
don't you?
absolutely. His style is just so beautiful. So he's early 20th century.
Yeah.
Just really beautiful writing about the sort of turn of the century time in Britain. There's a lot about like class and about love and families and wealth. All of these kind of
Nice.
typically British
British
things.
elements. Yeah. Nice.
Love his writing. I bought The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett.
Great book. I read it
Yeah?
when I was a kid.
I didn't read any of her books when I was a kid, but last year, I want to say, I read A Little Princess.
Oh, okay. I've not read that one. Good.
Yeah, I really
Yeah?
loved it, and that's why I bought this one, because The
Nice.
Secret Garden seems to be many people's favourites.
Have
of
you
hers.
watched the film?
Okay, I will read it first, and then maybe by the time I'm finished, there will be the film that was actually filmed just around the corner from here.
That's really
So,
cool. I didn't know
with,
about
I
that.
think with Colin Firth, or like some really big names in it. I know, like I could have run into him in Tesco.
And then you could have married him.
No mind that he is. Did you know Colin Firth, right? He's married to an Italian, and he applied for Italian citizenship. Hashtag Brexit.
Sorry.
Do you want to do... Oh, actually, I'll do mine and then you'll do yours last, because this is another one that I found in a charity shop. Daphne du Maurier, Jamaica Inn.
You like her, don't you?
Well, I've only read Rebecca. I have got My Cousin Rachel. I've not read that one yet.
Did you enjoy
Rebecca, yeah, I really did. I actually think you would as well.
I think Daphne du Maurier is another one that I see crop up all the time as
Mhm.
well. So I feel like I need to give her a go.
It's very moody, kind of, almost like suspension. Not really thriller, but always like kind of creepy books.
Right.
And this one, I believe, was also recommended by Andrea from Infinite Text, as well as Frenchman's Creek, which I haven't really had any luck in finding yet. What have you got?
So a couple really, Michael Mapergo. So never heard of him before, but I've been teaching in a school where they use his books as the class books. So the 2 that I've picked up were The Butterfly Lion and Why the Whales Came. Really, I know very little, as I started my school placement when they were doing the play, so they didn't do a lot of book reading, which was a shame. So looking forward to sort of having a go at those. They're not very long. And then finally, this is one that I also picked up from when I was at home. This is what I studied at school. Rapture, poetry book, Carol Ann Duffy. It's one
Could
that
have had
you
my
picked up.
copy.
I know, you picked it up, didn't you, in the charity shop? So as you can see, I've like scribbled all over it as part
is
of
this
my
actually
studies.
your copy?
Yeah, this is my copy.
Can I see?
Yes. So it's just one that I remember doing, you know, so I'm gonna look forward to reading through again as a...
Can I show this?
Yeah.
Like, my high school literature definitely does not look like that. Like, wow, you put effort into this. That's amazing.
But I did enjoy it. I do remember enjoying it at the time, so I want to revisit it and look at my little annotations and just, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Yay.
Rapture.
That
Carol
was
Ann
all of
Duffy.
our books.
And
So
it's-
we are now literally an hour later. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to cut this down, but it's going to be a long video.
It's going to be a long one. Maybe we can have like part 1 and part 2 or something.
You know what we have to do now is actually somehow get all these books into a thumbnail. It's not going to happen.
I love trying though. Well, we have been Robin and Claudia on Claudia's channel Spinsters' Library, and we are going to depart and leave Claudia with the long journey of editing. So I do read comments on Claudia's channel, so any recommendations of books that you think I might like as well as Claudia, please do put them in the comments. From you, I do read them. I'm just not a very active YouTuber.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you for watching.
Bye!